right, everyone. Welcome to this special episode of the Water Ski Podcast. It's actually not on the podcast, at least not as of right now, but it is on Swerve. Swerve is this new social media platform created by Lucy Carter specifically for water skiers. And I thought it'd be cool to drop an episode here to encourage people to be part of this new community. I'm very stoked about it, and so why not leaving some exclusive content here? If you came here through listening to the episode on the Water Ski Podcast with Corey and Adam, then give a shout to Adam and Corey, and maybe a shout out to the podcast as well by subscribing if you haven't, or maybe spread the word with friends. Now, what I want to talk about in this episode, I just want to give 3 drills for anyone who is learning how to ski the slalom course. This is obviously a humongous part of any skier. This could be a skier that learned how to ski in a lake where there is a course, but they weren't yet ready to tackle the course. Or maybe, like it often happens, skiers who ski on public water that don't have access to a course, and then either they find a way to put one, or they start to have access to a course and they really are in that weird stage of like gate 1 ball, gate 1 2, and they really can't seem to find anything else to do to improve their ability to run the course other than just try it. So here are 3 drills that I'm going to recommend, and these are drills that I learned from experience, from talking to other coaches, from coaching at our ski school. I think these 3 drills will be helpful in that regard. So the first one is to be able to make 6 consecutive turns when you're free skiing. Now, that seems a fairly straightforward drill. Particularly if you have been free skiing for a while, you might think, hey, I can do 20 turns in a row without stopping before I'm completely, exhausted and I have to let go of the handle. However, what I do mean by 6 consecutive turns are turns in which the line is always tight and you feel that especially your offside turns, so the turns are on the right for right foot forwards and left for left foot forwards, have somewhat of a similar feel than your onside turns. When you do have the ability to do 6 turns outside of the course and they are as symmetric as you can possibly make them, well, then it's an indication that you might have a sense of rhythm, a sense of control of the towing line, which are all fundamental skills to have if you want to manage the course. So if you do have access to, a bit of space, like water with no course, really make sure you can replicate essentially the course and the course rhythm without the buoys. So you pull out to the left, you simulate what would be a gate, and then you do 6 turns, 3 on the right, 3 on the left. The second tip, actually I should say, the important part when you're trying to make these 6 turns outside of the course is to always make sure that your line is as tight as possible, right? So if you watch a video or even just by skiing, you'll notice that sometimes you have slack, you lose the connection with the boat. The more you manage to do to keep connection with the boat, the more those 6 turns are going to be consecutive and in rhythm, and that will certainly serve you well whenever the time will come to attack the course. Now the second drill, and I don't see this enough in ski schools and other skiers that are trying to learn the course, is to actually ski half of the course. So the traditional slalom course is 3 buoys to the right, 3 buoys to the left, 1 ball is on the right, okay? And you do see a lot of people trying to learn the course by starting at 1 ball, then like swinging wide to the right, turn 1 ball as close as they can, and then pulling for 2 ball and then trying to get some buoys like that, which is obviously a very fair way to learn the course. I believe you should learn the course first and then eventually implement the gate. However, one drill that I think and I found to be very useful with new skiers is to ski only one side of the course. So if you're right foot forward, say, you swing wide for one ball, you turn one ball as soon as you can, and then you cross the wakes, and as soon as you cross the wakes, you change direction and you pull to the right again to get three ball. You get your three ball, you turn, you pull to the wakes. As soon as you cross the wakes, you cross again to the right and you try to get five ball. And especially for right foot forward, I would suggest starting at one. Whereas for left foot forwards, I would suggest start left. So pulling to the left, turning two ball early, and then crossing the wakes, changing edge as soon as possible. Not too close to the second wake, but pretty much where the white wash is, and pull to the left to get what would be four ball, and same drill again to go and get six ball. So you're already training a lot of things. You're training your offside pull across the wakes, which is generally more challenging, and you're actually getting some buoys, which, believe it or not, are going to keep your motivation high into learning the course. Now, to make this drill progressively harder, what you want to do is to eventually ski a little bit more water after the second wake. So going back to a left foot forward skier, you turn your two ball, you cross the wakes. Now maybe you change your edge and direction in between the second wake and the next buoy. And then eventually closer to the next buoy. And then eventually you try to shadow or spray that three ball when you're going to four, and spray that five ball when you're going to six. And reverse idea for right foot forwards. So you're already training a lot of things. You're training crossing the wakes offside pull, which is a challenging part of slalom skiing. And you're also training your view into the ball. So you're getting to the ball and you actually have a bit of space and you work on your balance approaching the buoy. Now, as you start to get those three balls pretty consistently, then you should try and change it. So basically, if you're right foot forward, swing wide for two, get four and get six. And for left foot forwards, swing wide at one and then get three and five. Which may seem like this part is a bit easier because you're crossing the wakes onside pull, but then actually you have to recross them with a little bit less speed that you would have in the slalom course in your offside pull to go and get the next buoy. So again, to repeat, ski half of the course. If you're left foot forward, start at two ball at first and get your four and six. And if you're right foot forward, swing wide for one and get your three and five ball. Progressively trying to get wider and wider on the side where you turn without the buoy. And at the same time, switch it up and start at two ball if you're right foot forward, or at one ball if you're left foot forward. And then the third drill that I would suggest is to try and learn the gates. Now, when you do this exercise, particularly if you haven't run the course yet, really your mindset should be, I'm not skiing the course. I'm learning where to start on the pre-gates, on the green buoys. You're learning to glide, preparing for a gate, which is a completely different glide than the one that you do outside of the course. Outside of the course, you pull to one side, and generally what happens is that you wait for the boat to somewhat catch up with you, and you feel the line, and you initiate the turn. With the gates, it's a different story. You have to swing wide, glide, and really judge your turn according to when the gates are coming. So as you do these drills, as you maybe try some to attack the course a little bit, I would suggest maybe do 2 or 3 gates, but again, without the rush of skiing the course with the gate. Do it with the intention of learning to pull out in a precise manner, or was more or less the same spot on the green buoys, learning to glide in a good centered position, balanced position, and then turning in for the gates by making sure that well, one, you are having a good pull across the wakes, and with that pull, you're actually making it through the red buoys. So the third drill would be learning and trying the gates, but again, especially if you haven't run the course yet, with the idea of basically learning how to glide, how to turn, and how to make it through 2 buoys. Most likely, if you did everything correctly, you'll get 1 ball, but I wouldn't even go further than that. I would just really do a few tries of the gate. So yeah, these are 3 little drills that you can practice, and particularly you could do the skiing half of the course and the gates in the same set. So maybe you do 4 passes where you do, say, your right foot forward. You do 2 passes where you get 1, 3, and 5. Then you switch side. You do 2 passes getting 2, 4, and 6. And then maybe you do 4 attempts of the gate, again, practicing the glide and turning in. Some extra tips. If you are working on skiing half of the course, swinging wide for 1 to maybe try the full course, if you're doing the drill to learn the gate, don't forget your free skiing. Eventually, once you get the gist of approaching a buoy and turning in for the gate, a lot of your success in running the pass is going to be determined by the rhythm and the line control that you have inside the course. So don't let go of your free skiing and keep training that ability of doing 6 consecutive turns with line control and rhythm. Now, the other tip is don't be afraid to go slow. I see too many skiers that are hectic to go fast, and I understand that, but it's much more important to make sure that you get a shot at running the course, and then eventually you go up. So I would say what speed should you start? It obviously depends by how heavy you are, the ski that you're on. But if you're trying to do the 135 or 246 drill, and as soon as you turn at the buoy, the ski sinks very deeply, well, then maybe it's a little bit too slow. But if the ski is carving through, then no reason to go any faster. One of the mistakes I see in a lot of skiers, and honestly, and even at higher levels, is wanting to get to the limit. But even from a repetition standpoint, you're getting less turns and less pulls if you're going so fast that you can't make it to the next ball or that you can't do your drill. So on top of those 3 drills, I would suggest don't rush going fast and don't leave your free skiing behind you, even if you're working on your course and on those drills. So yeah, those are 3 drills. Again, be able to make 6 consecutive turns when you're free skiing with good rhythm, good line control. Ski half of the course, 135, 246, starting at 1 ball for right foot forward at first and a 2 ball for left foot forwards, and then eventually slowly getting wider and changing side, and then learn the gates, but with the idea of learning that part of the course rather than doing it to ski the course. I hope you enjoyed it. Get your friends to subscribe to Swerve. This is a very good platform, and I'm excited for what Lucy has in mind with this new social media for us water ski junkies. So stay tuned, follow the Water Ski Podcast, and catch you later. Thank you.